Are you looking for a great spot in Colorado that's affordable and still near all of the amenities? Then Thornton is a great city for you to check out. Today we're going to be talking all about what it's like living in Thornton. We're going to be going over all the pros and cons. There's a lot of new build activity going on out there, so a lot of development, and I've actually become a really big fan of Thornton. Thornton is a very big city that's sitting on the east side of I-25 and goes roughly from about Highway 7 or 160th all the way down to 80th, and then goes as far out east as Riverdale Road. What I'm going to be talking about mainly in this video is everything north of 120th in Thornton. So Thornton has developed quite a bit over the last few years. They built out the Denver Premier Outlet shops. What this is your stores like Nike, Under Armour, all the fancy purse companies, Kate Spade, and all that for the ladies. So what's cool about it is all the outlet stores are just things that didn't sell in the regular retail stores. So like the Nike store, you can get really great discounts, especially around like that Black Friday time. And they have all kinds of shops that you can get a great deal at. One other really big cool attraction that's over there that they just built is the In-N-Out Burger. And then right close by is the Orchard Town Center that I've done another video on. So you have plenty of like shopping and things to do and restaurants right nearby. Now Thornton might not be ideal if you're somebody that works in Boulder and wants to commute to Boulder through a highway. Now, if you are somebody who either commutes into Denver or likes more going to Denver than you do Boulder, then I think this is a great spot for you. And honestly, even if you do like going to Boulder, typically anywhere in Thornton is roughly probably about a 30, at most, maybe a 45-minute drive. So it's very interesting because in Colorado, everything west of I-25, you're gonna pay a premium just for going on the other side of the highway. So to me, all these new build communities, there's a lot of builders that are giving great discounts like Lennar, Toll Brothers, KB Homes. There's just a lot of development going on around 144th and Hawley area. So they've been working over there for several years now, and it's actually really starting to become a really great area. There's a community called Willow Bend that I've been taking a lot of my clients to. That's a new build community, and they are building it's called a magnet school. And that's going to be a K through 8, and I've heard great things about the school that they're building that should be done in August of 2023. So I was actually working with clients that were looking both in Erie and in Thornton, and they could get the same exact house for $40,000 less just being on the other side of I-25. So that gives you a rough idea, and I would say you could probably even find that there's deals where you could get the same exact house and it might even be $100,000 more in Erie. So if location isn't necessarily super important to you and having a bigger home for less cost is more important to you, then Thornton is definitely a great option for you. It's very close to popular cities like Broomfield, Westminster, Erie, and is right in that same area where the Costco, Topgolf, and all those shopping centers are as well. Now, talking on some of the cons, and I really don't think that there's too many, is just the fact that, like I said, you are further away from Boulder, but really not by much. It's really just, maybe another 5-10 minutes across the highway to get down to Boulder. So everything from 120th north from Thornton is roughly going to be built anytime after 2000. I think you might find some of the 1990 homes and stuff like that, but certainly once you pass 136th, that's when you're going to start to see a lot of the new build communities, newer homes, and definitely more updated, modern, that kind of thing. Now, there are some other areas in Thornton that are, like I said, a little bit older. Some of these neighborhoods are like Hunter's Glen and a few other ones, but what's nice, and if you're not familiar with open space, a lot of people who are from out of state aren't necessarily sure of what open space is. Well, say in Minnesota or some of these other places, it would be kind of like what your lakes and parks and stuff like that are. Colorado just has designated open space where they're not going to build anything. So there's an area in Thornton called East Lake. That's really cool. There's just a lake, and then you can walk around the lake there, and they have like a wildlife preserve over there. Like I mentioned, in Hunter's Glen, they have a few little kind of pond lakes. My wife's from Minnesota, so she would definitely call these lakes here in Colorado ponds. So if you're moving from the Midwest and used to big bodies of water, you might miss that. The other great thing about Thornton is you are very close to DIA. You can just jump on the toll road and you should be there in probably about 30 minutes. There's plenty of parks and things to do and different great schools around Thornton, and you're always going to have that really close access to I-25. You probably shouldn't be any more than 10-15 minutes at very most distance away from getting onto I-25. So that would be a quick commute, whether you're going north to Fort Collins or if you're going south to Denver. Now, if you're a big skier, snowboarder, mountain biker, and like to get up to the mountains, I would say it's roughly about an hour and a half to get up to Silverthorne. There's definitely also a lot of properties. Even though you are on that east side of I-25, there are definitely properties that you can get a great mountain view, even though you're on the east side of I-25. And I honestly think that that's kind of one of the biggest reasons that people like to be on the west side of I-25. Now, if you go into Erie, you're going to see that driving on the roads in Erie, when you're headed west, you're going to have just an amazing mountain view. But with that being said, you're still going to have great mountain views in Thornton. You're just not as up close as you would be in Erie. But to me, getting that discount and living in a bigger home, being close enough to that area, to me, I think that works, but it's really what's all important to you. So at the end of the day, if you're willing to spend more money for that same house on the other side of I-25, and that community is really important to you, great. But if you're kind of a little bit more cost effective and want that bigger house, I think Thornton's a great option. The other thing on that too is that the property taxes are going to be a lot lower in Thornton because you're not in Boulder County. There's also plenty of really big parks and rec centers and skate parks. And I would always refer to websites like Redfin or niche.com to check out what schools are in the area. I'm also going to throw the link to Thornton's city website down below so you can check that out for all their resources. As of 2021, the population in Thornton is roughly about 142,000 people. A few of the golf courses that are in Thornton are Todd Creek and Thorn Creek, which are two really nice golf courses. Also, if you're somebody who shops at Walmart, there is plenty of Walmarts throughout Thornton, as well as King Soopers and Safeways. Those are the main grocery stores that we have here in Colorado. And just in case you're a nurse or it's important for you to be close to a hospital, there is a hospital really close by called St. Anthony's North, and there's also a children's hospital right up the road off of Highway 7 and I-25. Be careful if you like cookies a lot. There is a crumble cookie, so make sure that you don't get addicted to that. Going off of a list called dwellings.com, I'm going to go ahead and read their pros and cons and just give you my opinions on whether I think these are actually good and actually true, or if they're wrong. So it looks like they have low property taxes, fast internet speed, race diversity, religion diversity, industry diversity, low hurricane risk, that's for sure, no volcanic hazard risk, that's definitely true, low wildfire risk, low cancer incident rate, low cancer mortality rate, spelling bee finalists have lived here, that's always great, and it's sunny. That is one thing, is the sunny weather is great. It's interesting. We had one of the snowiest, coldest Januaries that we've had here. And I did not realize how lucky we are to have so much sunshine all the time. It was really not that bad, but it's just definitely been a colder January than normal. Even in the winter months like December and January, we'll have days where, it's 50, 60 degrees. This year we've had a really cold, and it's probably been in the 30s most of the month. Like I said, also with getting snow that's just stuck around because it's been colder, but normally that doesn't happen. Normally in Colorado, when we get snow, it will melt within a handful of days. So it's very rare that you have snow sitting around for more than 2 weeks. Some of the cons that they have is high property taxes, high property prices, too close to an airport, fewer good air days, low math proficiency at elementary schools, low math proficiency at high schools, low proficiency in reading and language arts in high school, less comfortable weather, lower numbers of days with temperature 50 to 90, dry weather, and weather with low extremes. I would definitely say that we do also have dry weather. So if you're moving from somewhere that has a lot of humidity, make sure you're bringing your lotion and chapstick and you're drinking a lot of water. It is very dry here in Colorado. As with school ratings, I always just say do your due diligence and make sure that the school that you're going to be sending your kids to is a good fit for them. So in Thornton, 73% of the population owns their home. And in 2022, the average price point of a new home in Thornton was roughly $540,000. The monthly cost for a rental for a 1-bedroom is roughly $1,600 a month. A 2-bedroom is going to run you right around $2,000 a month. A 3-bedroom rental is roughly around $2,500 a month. And a 4-bedroom is going to run you right around $2,800 a month. Next, we're going to read through some of the reviews that people have on niche.com about Thornton. So we'll go through some of the 5-star reviews, and then we'll also go through some of the 1-star reviews. So some of the 1-star reviews, it says, I'm not a fan. Everything is too expensive and the people are pretentious. I would move back to Colorado Springs if I was in a position to. It's much cheaper to live, the job market is much higher, and the food is 10 times better. I would agree. I think, Colorado Springs is definitely going to be a lot cheaper than the northern part of the Denver metro area. So if you're trying to be really, really cost effective, maybe Colorado Springs is something that you check out. This person says there are no restaurants worth going to in my area. I think there's probably plenty of restaurants in this area. One person said that they don't know who their neighbors are. That's pretty sad. That is tough when you don't have your community. So introduce yourself to your neighbors, get to know people around. I think people in Colorado are very friendly. So hopefully that's not the case everywhere. Some of the excellent reviews are, I like living in Thornton. It's a great city. I love how much holiday spirit they have with all the holidays. Me and my family especially love going to the Thornton Rec Center and experiencing all the festivities all year long. This person says, I enjoy living in this side of town. I moved away from Thornton before and I came back. The vibe is definitely different from the last place I was. For me, there was more peace of mind, not to mention that I have most things that I need and like close to me in the area. This person says, I lived in Thornton for the better part of my life. I was homeschooled, which is why I can't rate the schools. What I can say though is the area is safe and clean, lots to do, no shortage of food, coffee, and shopping. So there you have it. From other people and not just myself, let me know if you have any other questions about Thornton. I'm sure there's questions that I didn't get to in this video, so if you have any questions on this, feel free to shoot me an email, a text, or even a DM on Instagram, and I'd love to answer your specific questions. Until then, we'll see you on the next video.